Hi, in this session I'm going to show you how to get your data from your ClimMob account into your NAR section. The content of this video is how to get your API key from your ClimMob account, how to get your project data, and how to get your trial data. The setup for this lecture is that you need the ClimMob tools package. So I recommend you that you install it from GitHub as I demonstrated in the other videos. This package is already available on Chrome, but I recommend you to get it from GitHub because there are some new functions that are not available yet on Chrome. And of course you just need to load this command just once for the entire course. And then every time that you load the new R section, you need this command library. But first, I'm going to show you how you can get your API key, which is a very important part of this. To get your API key, you need to log into your ClimMob account. So this is the link for your ClimMob account. And then when you see in the main menu, you're going to see the button called Actions, and then you click on it. And then you see Profile, you click on Profile, and by the end of your profile you see the field called API key. So this is the entire series of numbers and letters is the key that you need to communicate from R to the ClimMob server. This is a show and tell lecture, so now I'm going to jump to the R section to show how this works in the real world. So as I said in the previous lectures, I'm using a project managed data. So this is my R project called Tricot Analysis, and I will open it. And I already have the script here, but the script that you need to open is this one called script 03 section 6 ClimMob data in R. So we open it, and here I have the command already for you to set up. So if you need to install ClimMob tools, and remember that R is a case sensitive language, so if you use C, it should be capital, and M capital, and T capital as well. So now I will load the package. And basically ClimMob tools has two main functions. The main function that we need is get project CM, and the other one is get data CM. And what I'm going to do is pick my API key from my ClimMob account, and I will create one vector with length 1, so it's just one single element, a single element in this vector. And I will call it key, and here I will put my API key. So now I load the package ClimMob tools, and then I have key, and then we have this function called get project CM, which is the one that are going to give information about the project that we have on ClimMob. So I will check for the documentation of this package, this function, and here I can see some details on the function. So the function says that it will fetch the status of the ClimMob projects, and that's the usage of this function. So we have ClimMob project CM, and then the main argument in this function is the key, the string, the character for your key, and then the server, which is an optional argument only in the case that you use like another server. For example, if you work with the RTB group or with the Avisa group, so maybe you need to put the string for the server that is your account is attached to. If you don't know if your server, you just need to communicate with me or with the ClimMob developers. But generally, you don't need to use this argument server. So then what I do here is I will create one object called projects, and I will arrow to the left and then get data CM, and then I will just need to put key, which is this vector that I used, that I created here. No? So this will going to be my key, and then I run it. Of course I need to create the key. No? This is not this project, get project, and then key, and then it says could not find function get project CM. Of course, because there's no function called get project CM. The functions get projects. So again, the error is because it's get projects with P. Now it will go. So then it will return to me a data frame with the information for the project. So if I click this, for example, on this function called view with V, capital V, projects, and then it shows to me like more in a more friendly way the project that I have. So I have 10 projects, and this is the code for the project, the one that you provide when you created the project. This is the name that you give to the project, and then there's the status of the project. So for example, sometimes it says that the project is concluded, sometimes that it not started, and the number of participants and the registration, and when it was the last activity in this project. And in this exercise, I'm going to work with the project called bread wheat. So this is a project that tested bread wheat varieties in India, in the Vaishali region. To get the projects, the project data, we use the other function that also comes with the ClimMob tools, which is called get data CM, and then I will look for the documentation, and it has basically the same behavior as the get project CM, and it says fetch data from ClimMob project using an API key. So the main arguments are the key that we already have here as this string with a vector string, and also it requires you to provide the project code. So in that case, for example, I will provide the code for the project bread wheat. And also there are other arguments that I will go through it during this video. So to go to this, I will call I will name an object called bread, and I will use the function get data CM, and I will put the key and also the project. I can type it again so we can see how this works. Bread, so left arrow to the left, and then get data CM. I will put the key here, and then the project is bread wheat. Why I don't need to put key? Like you see, like here I'm putting project equal bread wheat. This is also because I don't this object is not created in R, so I will just provide it to the function. And here generally the best practice is to put key equal the value for the key, but since R has this function, the way that the functions work, that the argument has the order, so you can check for the order of each argument here. So the first one is key, the second one is project. So you just need, if you feel very safe on doing this, you just need to do like this without providing the argument equal the value that you are providing to the argument. But again, this is not the best practice if you don't know very well the function. I will put it here, and then bread. It can take some time depending on our internet connection, and then we can see the value here, bread. So it has a printing way which shows to you, for example, the first 5 rows and then the last 5 rows, which you see like here the ID. The first column is the ID, like each of the packages ID from that the farmers received. And then you have the moment, which is if the information belongs to the package itself, or if it belongs to the registration, or if it belongs to any other data collection that you registered in your ClimMob project. And then you have the variable for each of these data collection moments and the value for the variable. So why this data is in this order? No, we have this in this order because it calls it the tidy way, where all the data are columns, and then it's better to organize even if you have missing data or this other behavior in the data. If you want to know more about tidy data, I have added here in the slides for this this section information about why we use this as a standard behavior in this function. Tidy data. Now it's something that was proposed by Hadley Wickham, and it's very common used now in all the R data management. And also it has a nice paper providing all the ideas that comes behind it. It's a paper published in 2014, and you can, if you want to read more about tidy data, that's why we have it as in this format. But of course, you have the option to get in the way that we are most used to, like what we call wider way. So the way to do it is just call the same function, and I will call this function again. But in that case, I will create we will overwrite over the bread, but I will create a new object called bread, and it's the get data. The same function. I will put the key. I will put bread wheat. And then I'm going to use this function that comes from the methods from the data frame, which we ask if it's this pivot wider, and then I will put true. So this means that the data will be in this way. So I will put it like this. And then it will return to me the data in this way, which is sometimes people prefer like this. So here you can see, for example, the IDs that each participant got, and the participant name. So I omitted the name so that I only have participant 1, 2, just for the case of data privacy. And then we have the varieties, the way that you already are used to see, the tricot data. So we have package variety A, variety B, and variety C, and we have the project name and all the information from the registration and all the data that is available in this data frame, the longitude and latitude and everything. So this data is, if I check here in structure, for example, bread, I can see the structure of the data. And if you see, the name of the function always comes with the assessment name and the name of the variable that you register in ClimMob. So for example, if the question that you put in the survey belonged to the registration moment, so the first thing that will come in the name of the variable will be registration underscore the name of the variable that you registered. And if it belongs to any data collection moment that you have, for example, in my case, I had 2 data collection moments. The first one was first assessment, and the other one was last assessment. So there are some questions that belongs to the first assessment. So then it would be first assessment underscore survey start, for example, or for example, first assessment early growth positive, first assessment early growth negative, and then the last assessment. So then you can find the information regarding to each assessment, and this is why one of the reasons that Hadley promotes this tidy data, because it's better to manage and you don't need to give these bigger names. It's also better to filter the data. But the wider data is the way that we use here in the other analysis. So. And then if I check for the dimensions of bread, for example, it will show to me that I have 493 observations rows and 38 columns or variables. And for those that want the data in the JSON format or the list format, which I really don't expect you to get it, to take it, but then you just need to use the same function called getDataCM, and then you provide the key, the project name, and then you put this argument called asDataFrame false. And this we're going to give to you the list that comes from ClimMob itself without any way to handle it or make it more tidy for you to read it. So if you see, it's a very long list. It has a lot of things here, and the length of this list is 7, so it has 7 vectors inside this list, and inside this has a lot of vectors, so it's a very complex list for new users. So I don't, even if you like to check it, feel free to do it, but this is just a way to show you that it's also possible to get the data entirely in the way that it comes from ClimMob. And here in the slides for this, you can see everything, how this works, and all the code as well, so you can check the code. And I recommend you to do the exercise also that we provide here. If you check here in the folder, in the script, we have the exercises, so I recommend you to do the exercises so you can learn and train a bit more, and if you have any questions, just let me know. And yes, this is it. Thank you.